I've decided to adopt minimalism, but in a materialistic way. Now if you go online and search for this term, you won't be able to find anything. Or at least I wasn't able to. This is a term that I sort of made up and got from the term introverted extrovert, which I like to associate my personality with. But in case you didn't know what the definition is, an introverted extrovert describes someone who may seem like an introvert at first, but after you get to know them, they start to show their extroverted traits. So I thought I would take that idea of introverted extrovert and take the two words minimalist and materialist and sort of put them together to make a new term called Materialistic Minimalist. But since there isn't an official definition for this term, I'll sort of define it as spending your money on more expensive quality items instead of buying a whole bunch of cheaper items with less quality to them. This way, in theory, you would be buying quality, carefully selected items that will hopefully last a long time. So when I say I'm a materialistic minimalist, it means that I'm shifting my mindset to buying items for quality and not for quantity. As of now, I don't think I'm at the point in my life to where I want to go full on minimalist, like all of these other YouTubers are saying, where they say they sold everything in their apartment, or when they document their life as a full on minimalist. But yeah, I don't think I'm at the point in my life where I'm ready for all of that. I still very much enjoy buying stuff. But I have also seen the downsides of just buying stuff because it's on sale and having it piled up in your garage and maybe having to move later or relocate and going through all the trouble of trying to get rid of the stuff by selling it or giving it away. I just don't want to do that in the future. I want to avoid the hoarding habit as much as possible. And a good way that I think I'm going to start implementing, especially to avoid impulse purchases, is to wait at least a day before deciding whether or not you really want to buy it. Because many times these purchases are emotional. So you may be having a really good day or a really bad day, and you may want to reward yourself because you're having a good day, or also if you're having a bad day, you may want to just buy something to try to cheer yourself up. But usually after these 24 hours, you've had some time to process your emotions, and if you then want to buy it afterwards, at least you've had some time to think it through. But also many times that purchase you may have thought you needed turns out to be something that might not have been such a smart purchase. Most of the times when you pay more for a product, it ends up being a higher quality than if you were to choose the cheaper option. The exception being luxury brands, because a lot of them are the exact same item, but they charge a huge markup just because their logo is slapped on. I want to start staying away from cheaply made products so you don't have to buy them over and over again. One, because it's a hassle of having to go back to the store over and over again to buy the same item. And two, because you'll probably end up spending more money over time than if you just spent all that money at first to buy a quality item of the same thing. But here are some of the categories that I think prove that spending money for the quality and not for the quantity really makes a difference. Now, the first one is clothing. And this is something that is my personal interest, so I have a lot of opinions on this. Some of the brands that I personally stand behind are brands like Cuts, Built Basics, and Essentials. These brands have minimal to no branding on their clothing, and they're made up of a blend of materials other than cotton, so they end up not shrinking, lasting longer, and fitting better. But in return, these clothes are usually more expensive because the materials used in them are pricier. But because I'm personally into fashion and I care a lot about how clothes fit on me, I think it's totally worth it to spend more money on quality basics than spending it on a whole bunch of cheaply made clothing. Sticking to quality basics also means that I'm not into trendy items. Buying into these trends because they're hot and fashionable for a few months just means that you'll end up buying more once the trend changes. Moreover, the quality of the clothing from these fast fashion brands usually aren't that great. And if you do happen to buy high quality fast fashion pieces, they aren't going to be trendy a few months from now. So I would advise staying away from these trends unless it's something you really like and it's something that you know you're going to stick with long term. That being said, it doesn't mean I'm going to wear the same basics every day, like the same black t-shirt or the same white t-shirt, just because it's good quality. I'm personally into fashion because it boosts my confidence. So I'm gonna mix and match colors to where it suits my taste. And this is something that I've recently just become more aware of, so I'm still gradually changing my wardrobe to consist of just a few capsule pieces that I know are gonna last a long time. I'm mostly gonna end up buying neutral colors like blacks, whites, grays, and other earth tone colors because I know they're gonna mix and match well with each other. Oh, and also apart from the occasional pop color here and there. This also means that in the future, I'm only going to buy pieces that I know I'll be able to wear over and over again. Another characteristic of clothing that I buy and I plan to buy is clothing with minimal to no branding. This is because if you have, for example, a $50 cotton white t-shirt and a $5 cotton white t-shirt, from afar, you probably won't be able to tell which one's more expensive, unless it's made out of different material and you walk up closely and you can tell that the texture is different. But also it just looks cleaner from head to toe if there's no branding on your outfit. However, like I mentioned before, an example where price doesn't always equal quality is luxury brands. You pay the super high markup for their brand name and they're usually meant as statement pieces when you wear them. This also applies to shoes as well. I, like many others, are a proponent of the clean white leather sneaker. And if you spend a lot of money at first on a quality pair and you take care of it, you know that's going to last you for years to come. But again, this is all my personal opinion because I'm very much into fashion and I care a lot about how I present myself. The next category is furniture. Now the pieces that I'm about to mention, I don't personally own myself, but I have heard from others that spending money on quality furniture makes a difference in terms of comfort and how long it lasts. So the first one is a quality mattress. Now I've heard that a quality mattress can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but in research it has shown that we sleep around 1/3 of our lifetime. So I think it would justify if we spent our hard-earned money to make sure we're comfortable in that amount of time. Now I haven't personally felt the benefits yet, but this is definitely something that I plan to splurge on in the future for both my comfort and my health. This also goes for an office chair. If you spend 8 to 10 hours a day sitting at your office chair working, wouldn't it make sense to make sure those 8 to 10 hours are comfortable and healthy for your back and your neck? Yes, many of these quality chairs can cost upwards of $5,000 to over $1,000. But if it can help you stay healthy, productive, and comfortable, I think it's totally worth the investment compared to buying a cheap office chair that you're gonna have to switch out every few years. Silk pillowcases are also something that I've heard a lot about. They're supposedly supposed to prevent the tugging of your hair when you sleep at night, and they also seem to say that it's super comfortable. But again, because of the material, it's considered a luxury item and is usually significantly more expensive than the regular pillowcases you're going to find out there. And yeah, I would assume this concept would apply to other furniture like couches, kitchenware, and so forth. Most of the time, if you spend more money on it, you'll get better quality and hopefully it's going to end up lasting longer. Now the third category is food. And there's been a lot of mixed opinions on whether or not organic food is really worth the money, but I would like to go through a few of the points of research that I've found online that seem to justify the price. So firstly, because it's organically grown, there won't be any pesticides. And because there are no pesticides, well, firstly, you won't be eating any. And secondly, because there won't be any preservatives in the fruits and vegetables that you buy. So they're probably actually going to be fresh because it doesn't contain any preservatives. But some organic foods, like milk and eggs, have been proven to contain more nutrients if farmed organically. So at the very least, I want to in the future buy my dairy, my eggs, and my meat organically because the pesticides put in them have been shown to cause the most harm. Another habit that I want to avoid in terms of food, if my situation allows for it, is to stop buying in bulk. Now, depending on your living situation, if you're living by yourself, most of the time, if you buy in bulk, you won't be able to finish the food that you buy. Even if you're living with just one other person, buying in bulk might not always be the best choice. But of course, if you're living with your family or with a group of friends, it would financially make sense for you to buy most or all of your food at Costco. But in my opinion, I think if you're living by yourself, you'll be better off buying less food with higher quality and gaining the benefits of your health along with minimal food waste. Now the fourth category that I want to go over is toiletries. These products like shampoo and body wash that you may find at the common drugstore like Target or Walmart usually don't contain the best ingredients. These products usually contain harmful chemicals that aren't great for your hair or your skin in the long run. Instead, I would choose to buy quality health products that I know that the ingredients included in them will be good for my health in the long run. If you don't know where to start, many of these established YouTubers have started their own brands focused on making sure that the ingredients included in them actually benefit your skin and your hair. Now these products may seem more expensive compared to the ones you usually buy at first, but I can guarantee that it's really going to make a difference over time. And the final category that people spend a lot of money on is technology and gadgets. Now technology is a little bit different in a way because it has improved exponentially throughout the past few years. If you look at smartphones, for example, the $300 smartphone isn't that much different from the $2,000 smartphone. Nonetheless, when you're planning to buy a gadget, whether it be a phone, a TV, a pair of headphones, there's no doubt that if you buy the current generation, it's going to last longer than if you bought the previous generation or the previous few generations. Generally, if you spend more, you'll end up getting more qualities and features. But yeah, that's been it. Those were my general ideas of how I want to spend money in the future, along with some of the categories that I want to be spending more money on for the quality, and hopefully it'll save me more in the long run. Again, even though there's no official definition for the term materialistic minimalist, if there was anything like that, I thought the definition would fit nicely into what I explained in this video. That being said, I'm not at the financial stage in my life to where I can achieve all the things I mentioned in this video, but if you would like to help me out, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you disagree with anything I said or have anything else to add, let me know down in the comments below. Feel free to share this with your family and friends if you found it interesting or if you think they could benefit from it. Subscribe if you would like to see more, and I'll see you in the next video.